Hi, I'm Kieran Donaghy. You're watching Fitness Today.
Hi there and welcome to another edition of Fitness Today. On today's show we have a personal trainer and nutritionist here in the studio with us, and we'll also be hearing from a man who runs marathons in his spare time, a gym owner, a Zumba instructor and a captain of the Kerry football team. First off, we dive into the world of bodybuilding. Let's take a look at Hercules Gym.
I started myself over 12 years ago. I just decided just to give it a go for a month. And as you see now, 12 years down, I'm still training and I don't see myself stopping actually. So it's just unbelievable. Again, this sport changed a lot in my life. It gave me a lot of confidence, self-confidence. And before, you should be shy. You should be afraid to say to people no or what I think. Now I'm totally different person, and I see actually other guys who trains in here from regular people, I call them. We are turning into the personalities. We're starting to know what we want in their lives. We setting up new goals and actually we're hitting them. So that's I'd say that's the beauty of this sport. We came up with this idea to open this place back way over 4 years ago, basically looking for a place ourselves where we'd be able to train, improve ourselves and compete in national levels. And at the moment we're growing fast. Now over 4 years into the business, we have a good success in the competitions. We have the champions, vice-champions, third place winners. I'm happy actually more girls are getting involved into it.
I've been always active. I used to dance for 11 years, so it was a natural step. Naturally, I get involved in fitness, and I've been training for the last 2 years. I'm in weight training, and since last summer, I decided to go for competitions, so my weight training a little bit changed. My friends getting used to the weightlifting, especially women are scared of it. So they're lifting the weight, they see, the benefits out of it. And even heavy weights is nothing to be scared about. And they love what it does to their bodies.
A training routine, the most basic training routine consists of a warm-up, then a weight training, and then we call it cooling down. Some people do abs, some people do stretching.
My training routine, I train usually 5 days a week. There are split days, so I'll do certain body parts. It's always the same week. Every single time I train, it's different exercises, so I never repeat anything. I'm slowly getting in the cardio, which is not my favorite part.
Preparation for competition normally starts 4 months out. That involves a lot of cardio, but the main difference between the regular training and preparation for competition is what you eat. It comes to the diet. You have to follow your meals. You have to eat 5, 6, 7 times a day to fast your metabolism, to consume enough protein, not too much carbs. So this way you're lowering your body fat down to 3-4%, so that all vascularity could be clearly seen on the stage.
Fitness, it's my lifestyle. It's my daily life. It's my job. It's my hobby. So it's a huge part of my life.
Tips for beginners, the main one is do not overheat, not overtrain. A lot of guys I've seen start in training and we expect the results really quickly. Nothing comes easy, everything comes with the hard work, with the right attitude, with the discipline, which is important in this life. So I would recommend have the right supplements, be patient, and consistently stick to your goal.
Eating the right food is important. Here to give us advice on this topic is nutritionist Eileen Lane. Eileen, thank you for coming to the show today.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you for having me.
Tell us about yourself and how you got into the whole world of nutrition.
Yeah, nutrition is something I have a deep passion for. My association with food, or should I say maybe a negative association with food, goes back years and years. I took up it on myself to study what food was doing to me, what the type of food I was putting into my body, how I was reacting to it. And so I undertook some studies, and now I'm helping other people to feel better.
Okay, what services do you provide in that line of work?
Well, I meet with people for private one-to-one consultations. I go through their current diet with them. I advise them on the key areas where they need to improve. I also explain to them what they're doing now, the effect it could be having on them. There's no point in telling somebody what to do unless you explain why. I also provide food intolerance testing. I do food diary analysis. And I also do group work talks with different ranges of groups, sports groups and schools, which I particularly like.
Okay, obesity is making the headlines at the moment, is causing a lot of worldwide health issues for everyone worldwide.
Yes.
Is there enough being done to combat this epidemic?
I feel some things are being done. This subject is being highlighted a lot more, but I really feel that the educational system needs to up their game just in training children how to eat properly, what a balanced diet is, most importantly why they're doing it, why they need to do it for when they grow up as an adult. And I also feel that it's the role of the parent also in the home to educate themselves so that they can in turn pass that on to their children.
Right, because I read in the newspapers a while ago that there was children as young as 16 being diagnosed with heart problems. Now,
Yes.
that's obviously a combination of bad diet and inactivity. They're playing PlayStation, not getting out of their bedrooms all day, eating cola, drinking crisps, eating crisps and drinking Coke. Is the parents to blame for that?
Well, I feel that both parents and those in the education role, they both have a part to play. I really feel that it starts with education, so that goes back to the school, but also parents need to be educated so that they can teach their children, okay? And that's where the likes of myself, which is a nutritional professional, steps in to
Okay.
try and teach parents so that they can show their kids.
You also do food intolerance testing. Could you talk us through that whole process?
Yes, so basically with food intolerance, if a client presents themselves to me with symptoms, the symptoms of a food intolerance test are varied. There could be fatigue, bloating, skin problems. I will always advise the client to first go to their GP just to check that there's any other issue going on. Then when they come to me, I explain the procedure to them. Basically, I take a quick finger prick blood test. That blood sample is sent to the Leverizian laboratories in Wicklow and tested against anything between 50 and 150 foods. Afterwards, when their results come back, they are advised on what foods they're intolerant of, how long they need to eliminate that from their diet, the procedure in introducing it back in, and also a very important one, if you are advised to cut out a particular item for, let's say, cow's milk or gluten, it's very important to include substitutes that will have the same nutrition as those that you have cut out of your diet.
Okay. There's a low-fat phenomenon at the moment. I know that when I go to the supermarket, I buy low-fat yogurt, low-fat butter. Am I wasting my time?
I really feel it's a huge marketing issue to get people to buy products, basically. The thing with low fat is that when you're taking out the fat, when the manufacturers are removing the fat, obviously they need to replace that fat with something to still make it taste good, to obviously get people to buy things. So it's very important to know the type of things that's being put in instead of the fat. So sugar can be one thing, lots of additives, artificial sweeteners, those things. So it's very, very important for people to be aware of what's on the food label. It might say low fat on the front, but actually read the list of ingredients. And that's what I like to do in my group talks, especially teach people how to label read so that they can make an informed choice when they're doing their grocery shopping.
Okay. Now, what advice would you give to people that want to improve their nutrition, their overall health?
Well, firstly, I think it's very important for a person to sit down and take stock of what they're doing. You really don't know what you're eating and drinking until you document it, and you can see it on the written page.
Okay.
So the first step would be to just write down what you're eating and drinking at the times you're doing it at, and then really and truly is to show it to a professional, just so you can get some advice. Am I on the wrong road, the right road? What are the better alternatives that I could be eating? But definitely the first thing would be documenting what you're eating and drinking.
And what would you say are the main problems affecting the health of people today?
Well, firstly, we mentioned obesity, and I do feel this is a big factor, and education really needs to be stepped up a little. Stress actually is also another key factor in people's health today, so I think that's another issue that needs to be tackled.
Okay, Eileen, thank you for coming and talk to us today.
Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you.
Okay. Running a marathon is something most of us dream about doing. Richard Murphy is one man who turns his thoughts into action. Here he is talking about his journey from beginner to marathon runner.
I started running about 3.5 years ago. Could never really run before that because I didn't really have the fitness, but what got me the fitness was I started cycling. The cycling gave me the fitness to go further than 2 miles. So I decided I'd run further than 2 miles. But so once I started doing that, and once I was able to run certain distances, I kind of forgot about the bike. So the running took over then. So I've been running since. When I started running, I never intended on running whatever further than 10k or 5k or 10k. But once I did a 5k, I did a 10k. I decided to do a 10 miler, and it kind of gradually crept up on me. You know that, okay, and you gradually get more and more confidence from your ability, in your own ability to run. And when you do achieve new things like finishing a 10k or finishing a 10 miler, it starts creeping into your head. Maybe I could do a half marathon, and then ultimately maybe I can do a marathon. So I kind of just want to do marathons now as opposed to the shorter races. I've done 3 twice. I did it last year and I did it in 2012. I've done Dublin twice, 2014, 2013, and I've done a marathon in Killarney, and I've done a marathon in Limerick. There's 6 major marathons in the world. There's London, New York, Chicago, Berlin, Japan, Tokyo, I think. That's 5. Boston is the other one. I forgot about Boston. I'm actually doing London in April. I managed to get into that, and I'm running Berlin in September, hopefully. There's a share of training involved. It's consisting of running at least 3-4 times a week from varying distances. So you'd have a long run at the weekend. The basics of it would be you run long at the weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and then at least 2 other runs during the week, at least. You'd have to be aiming for at least 30-40 miles per week running, minimum. The runs during the week would consist of speed work, as they call it, where you're running faster than you normally run, considerably faster than you normally run. And that can be fairly tough, fairly tired after that. But the main run is the long run at the weekend, up to 20 miles. And when I did start running, I didn't know anyone to run with, so I used to do the long runs on my own. And they were, I was questioning my sanity. I was out on the road running, raining, cold, wet, wind, cars passed me by. I could see the expression on their faces of the motorists saying, who is this lunatic out on the road in this weather? And I was saying to myself, what am I doing this for? I need a new hobby. I'm taking up golf. But through the running, I got to know the fellas, and nice bunch of guys. And since then, I've been running with them, and it just makes it a lot easier to do the long runs. I take a vitamin supplement, all right, because the constant running does affect your immune system. And I take in a bit more protein as well, because there's a lot of muscle damage from the constant pounding, so plenty of protein to repair muscle damage. Other than that, we'd say the week leading up to a marathon, you might have heard of carb loading, carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the food that we get our main energy from, like porridge, pasta, wholemeal bread, things like that. So I top up on a lot of that in the week leading up to a marathon. My wife, then, she has run a couple of 5Ks as well. She's the engine room behind me, the marathon man. I have 2 daughters, and they see Daddy running, so we try to get them involved with the with athletics as well. They're a member of the Unreact club in Castle Island. I'm a member of that club myself. If you do cross the finish line and you get a PB, all the training has been worth it, because that's why you do it. You do it to test yourself and to challenge yourself and see how fast you can run a certain distance for. Well, I'm not a young man anymore, but hopefully I'll be doing this for a few years to come.
That's the end of part one. Join us in part two for some Zumba, basketball and a bit of kickboxing. I'll see you then. Welcome back. Fitness isn't all about pumping iron and running. Dancing is also a great and fun way to burn off the calories. Here is Debbie talking about the benefits of Zumba dancing.
Hi, my name's Debbie Driscoll. I'm the owner of Kerry Dance and Fitness in County Kerry, Tralee, Southern Ireland. I started dancing at the age of 3. I've studied all different types of dancing, from tap, ballet, modern, jazz, musical theatre. When we opened here, we started doing Zumba, which was the new thing in town. Basically, 750 calories in one class, so that's why the girls love it. It's fun, it's dancing, so it's just like a party. Each song has a dance routine, so the girls just learn it and just work away, basically. Bokwa is the other one that we do. That is every step of the alphabet is a dance step. Sorry, every letter of the alphabet is a dance step. That is nearly 1,500 calories, so double what Zumba is in 45 minutes, but it's a lot harder. Pole fitness we do. We're one of the few places in Kerry that do pole fitness. Core strength, upper body strength. We even do men's classes. We've done 7 Strictly Come Dancings for the GA clubs and charities. We do ballroom, salsa, tap dancing, ballet, belly fitness. So there's a whole variety of classes here. Most of the girls do come and do 2-3 classes of an evening, and most of them lose anything up to a stone in a month and keep the weight off. So it's not like going to the gym and on a treadmill or things like that. They just come, relax, have a bit of fun, party, lose the calories, tone up, and dance away, basically. Now, Carly, one of the success stories, she is now a licensed Zumba instructor. She is a qualified pole fitness instructor. She actually goes out and teaches special needs, the Zumba.
Actually, my mom rang me and said, "Do you do Zumba?" And I said no. So I don't want to go. And she wouldn't go unless I went. So I said, fine, I'll go, oh God. So she dragged me here. And obviously, from the very first 10 minutes, I was hooked. That was it. Been coming ever since. Yeah, I'm here, this will be my 3rd year.
Yeah, we were here 2 years last year.
Yeah, 3rd year.
Yeah.
So 10 classes a week I do. That's how much I love it.
About 2-3 years ago, we were invited up to Dublin when Beto Perez, the founder of Zumba, came to Dublin and did a masterclass and invited a few people to do one of the training DVDs. And moi was one of the ones that did the training DVD with Beto and Gina. sometimes when I'm doing a class and we've got a lot of new people in the class, we keep it down so it's not so hard on them. So basically, they're getting cardiovascular through the Zumba. So that's our old school aerobics, group activity, group exercise class. So they get the cardiovascular. We encourage the singing. We turn the music down to encourage them to sing. So they're expanding the lungs and they're getting the breathing control without having this, you've got to breathe in, you've got to breathe out, on this, that and the other. So it comes naturally because they'll sing and dance at the same time at a wedding or a party. So cardiovascular, lung expansion, obviously burning the calories. And then if they put those classes with the toning classes, the weight they've lost will then tone up and make them solid. A lot of people that just go and lose weight then have this problem of toning it up. But if you lose the weight, tone and do the cardiovascular, you'll get it all at the same time and keep it off instead of having these fads. I've lost a stone, 3 months later you've put 2 stone on. 6 months later you're on another diet and it's just this all the time. So with the Zumba classes, the Bokwa classes, as well as a sensible diet, you will tone up and lose the weight and keep it off and maintain it. Looking forward, so it's our 4th birthday next Thursday, so we're entering into our 5th year, which everyone involved in the studio is very proud of. New business, a dance school to last that long. But we're always looking for new things, like we're looking into piloxing, which is a mixture of Pilates and boxing. So here's looking to the future.
Here in studio to talk to us about the world of personal training and kickboxing is Maeve Frawley. Maeve, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Steve.
So tell me, what actually makes a good personal trainer?
Well, I think there's a lot of boxes to tick as regards being a good personal trainer. I suppose first and foremost you have to be qualified and highly qualified. There's a lot of kind of quick fix courses out there and very short courses out there.
Yeah.
So I think it's quite important to be highly qualified and to be registered as a personal trainer with Reps Ireland. So that's the first thing for me. The person has to be properly qualified.
And how long does it take from students to fully qualified? What's the time?
Well, it would be a 4-year fitness degree, really.
Okay.
Anything past that, we'll say past that, I have a master's in nutrition, so I find I could bring more for my clients as regards the nutrition side of it.
Okay, yeah.
So qualifications is the first protocol, in my opinion.
Okay.
After that, you have to be very fit yourself.
Yeah.
You have to live, you have to practice what you preach, basically. I think personality is huge. You're trying to inspire and motivate, and that's your job. So it's important to be a very motivated, enthused person.
Okay.
And I think also just very good people skills, being tactful, being empathetic. So there are a lot of boxes to tick as regards.
Okay, and what would be your mantra, your philosophy as regards personal training?
Well, my own philosophy for Maeve Frawley Fitness is basically empowerment and education. That's, if I was to put it in a nutshell, that's the 2 words I'd use. I'm trying to empower my clients, be it man, woman, an able-bodied person, a disabled person, someone, any type of person. I'm trying to empower them physically and mentally.
Okay. And do some take more pushing than others, or is
of course,
everyone's
yeah.
different?
Everybody's different. Some people are maybe completely ready to be there and have very specific goals. Other people just know they need to improve their health. Their goals mightn't be as specific, so that's where I'm there to help them with that.
Okay.
So I want them to feel more confident. It's the physical will fall into place, the weight loss or whatever it may be. It's more about giving them that confidence and that self-esteem. So that's the empowerment side of it, and the education side of it is that I don't want to just lead them through everything. I want them to know what they're doing, why they're doing it, what is improving, so that I can make them independent, so they won't always need, and they can kind of, again, that will knock on the empowerment, that they'll feel they can do this for themselves in time.
Okay, and how do you keep your own fitness knowledge up to date?
Well, it does help that I lecture in the college, so I find on a double whammy I have to be very up to date with the current research that's out there. Anything to do with sports, like sports science is a very young science. It's constantly changing and evolving. Something's proven, then it's disproven, etc., etc. So basically, I suppose I'd read a lot on scientific journals would be mostly where I get most of my up-to-date knowledge. There are a lot of good sources out there, but if you really want to kind of get to the high caliber stuff, I would read quite a few journal articles and textbooks.
You wouldn't have to go and refresh your courses or anything like that, no?
I do sometimes just for myself, but I feel I have the kind of main heavy hitters when it comes to my qualifications with the degree and masters, but I would do kind of refresher course here and there. Like For example, I did one a pre and postnatal exercise specialist course. I felt like I didn't learn anything massively new doing the course, but it just kept me up to date and gave me a bit more confidence working with pregnant clients.
Right. From warm up to the end in your class, could you walk us through the whole process? The minutes your class are assembled, they're lined up, they're geared up. Could you walk us through the whole process?
Well, the group fitness classes, when they start at 7 in the evening, I'd make sure I'm there at around 6:30 myself, just to set up the room, make sure everything's ready for everybody. Then people start to arrive, just a matter of signing people in, registering people. Obviously they'd have filled out their screening forms prior, etc. And then it's just a matter of doing the warm-up, getting the music going, getting the energy up in the room, getting, you know, obviously my own energy level's very high for it. Sometimes towards the end of the class we might do some weight training or some core training or some pad work. So obviously I'd have to set up that equipment before class and have it ready to go. Okay. Then it's just a matter of going through all that, getting the mats, doing a stretch and a cool down.
Music obviously plays a big part in your, I mean, the energy must be really, when you get going, it must be really crazy, you know. And
yeah, it's the type of, it just keeps, I find that music is highly important. It's up to me to motivate the class, and I would be quite, you know, motivating, I think, with them, but the music really, really helps. It helps rile us all up, so.
Talk to us about the kickboxing. How did you get into that?
I got in, well, my actual background is in Taekwondo. So I got into Taekwondo when I was maybe around 13, 14 years of age. Okay. I got my black belt when I was around 19. I've competed, I just fell in love with Taekwondo. I've always done plenty of other sports. I played Gaelic football. The first Taekwondo class I went to, I never stopped, and I dropped every other sport for it. And I got to a high level. I was on the national team for 7 years, and I competed in a lot of other countries. So I just absolutely love it. So then I found a way of using my qualification in fitness and using the sport. So that's why I teach cardio kickboxing. So it's a fitness class. You don't have to be a kickboxer to come to it, but it's based around martial arts, Taekwondo kickboxing.
What evaluations now would you conduct in a client just walked in the door?
Yeah, when I get a new client, basically I'd have to do a screening form, so just a bit of a health history, just to make sure everything's, you know, good to go. After that, I'd need a little background on what exercise or fitness they've done, nutrition, etc. So, and go from there. Okay,
Maeve, thank you for coming and talking to us today.
No problem.
Okay, thank you. When he's putting on the green and gold jersey for Kerry, Kieran Donaghy trains young basketballers in his Be a Star basketball camps. Here's Kieran telling us more about it.
Just for yourself and your well-being, it's good to be fit and active, you know. I think it's good for the mind more than anything else. It's good for the body, obviously, but it obviously helps the mind as well to stay focused and keep sharp. Every holiday camp, I'd be breaking my mother up to sign me up to whatever basketball camp was on. It was just something I felt that from a young age where I could go into a controlled environment with good coaches and learn the game and improve myself. You know, I suppose the first few I went to were to learn the game, but very quickly I got a love for it, and then it was about getting better, and the more camps I could go to, the better. And I suppose, you know, Dungarvan was the biggest basketball camp in Ireland, down in Waterford every summer. Huge numbers going to it every year, and I was lucky enough that my mum forked out the 200 or 300 pounds it was at the time, because this was a thing where you stay for the week down in Waterford, and you know, there was Irish internationals down there coaching us, and coaches coming from America, which was huge, and something that I learned an awful lot about the game. And I would say one of the main factors that helped me achieve what I wanted to achieve out of the game of basketball, and I felt I did that, and the camps were a huge part of that. For the last 2 years, we've been doing them every Halloween, so the Halloween midterm break. And the first year we had about 100 kids, and last year we had 150. So it's getting, you know, I think out of the 100 kids that went the first year, 86 went again the following year. So that's a good hit ratio, as in kids that obviously enjoyed the camp day one. We got great feedback from all the parents through text messages and through email that they all enjoyed the camp and that they felt they learned a lot out of it. It brings you back to your fitness and health as well, you know, instead of kids maybe staying at home playing PlayStation or lying around the house watching DVDs, that they were down here for 4 or 5 hours working, learning, socialising with other kids. The overall goal is to get it to where, you know, it's an annual event. I'd love to get it to the level of Dungarvan, where kids would come from all over the country and stay. We'd kids coming from all over the county, we'd kids coming from Carsiveen, we'd people coming from Clare, from Limerick, driving every day down, which was no mean feat, but obviously they enjoyed it and they wanted to learn, and you know, I brought coaches over from America. I flew 2 coaches in from America, guys that I'd played with the Tigers, who I'd won national cups and national leagues with, so I knew their wealth of knowledge would be great for any young kid aspiring to make it in the game. And the game is coming, it's coming again. There's money back in the country, which is very important when it comes to basketball, because the league runs, the Super League in Ireland runs on people getting in Americans, you know, and you have to have money to do that. So, you know, hopefully we'll see that take off, and maybe some of the kids that are coming to the camp will go on to play basketball, and that's what I'd love to see come out of it as well. If you're physically right, the mental side will come that bit easier. If you're not physically right, I think the mental side, you know, I think there's a greater toll on the mental side of things if you're not being physically active or doing anything at all. Been playing with Kerry since I was a minor at 18. Thankfully, and I'm lucky enough to be from Kerry, where we're known as a successful county, and thankfully in my term, you know, I've been a senior for 10 years now, the guts of 10 years, and I've contested 7 or 8 All-Ireland finals and won 4 of them, you know, so it's been a huge honour for me to be involved in it, and to now lead the county out in this coming championship season will be huge for me, and something that I can't wait to do. And with God's help, once the body stays fit and I get through the league, once championship comes around, it's going to be exciting times this summer, and with God's help we can help the kingdom to more glory. And I always say we're only holding on to the jersey and we're passing it on to the next generation, but I'm trying to hold on to it for dear life as long as I can. Being the captain, I hope last year stands to me. I'm still very hungry. I'm hungry to achieve, and I think this team is hungry to achieve, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.